What's going on, my friends? Today I want to show you what I think is going to be the best tall point guard build that you can make in NBA 2K25. When I say tall point guard build, I am referring to the height of 6'4". I don't think as a point guard you should go above 6'4", and this is for comp pro-am play. So if you're going in with a 6'6" point guard, it's going to be a long game for you, all right? Like I was saying, tall point guard 6'4" is the height to go, or you can be a little shorter and be 6'2". Those are the two heights that are definitely the most popular and the ones that I would recommend making. I've showcased two different 6'2" point guards that I was running around with, one with high dunk, one with higher middy. The high dunk build, both good builds, first off. So if you decide to make either of those builds, these are the thumbnails for it right there. There's one with Donovan Mitchell on it. There's one with Steph Curry on it. So if you want to check those builds out, go ahead. The Steph Curry build is faster, and the other build is slower but more dunking. So a good solid two options. One could be better for 5 out. The other one could be better for PNR. Now that I understand exactly the way that I want to play, I'm going to move forward and probably make a 6'4" point guard. It's harder to contest. I'll go in depth of why I'm doing it when I'm talking about it in terms of shooting. But to me, the 6'4" point guard makes a lot of sense. Not that the 6'2" doesn't, but with the way that I play, it makes the most sense. You can definitely make a better all-around build at point guard at 6'2". So if that's something that you're going for, by all means do it. But if you are someone like me who shoots the ball a lot, not dunk, then I would go 6'4". And yeah, that's pretty much all you really have to mention when it comes to 6'4" compared to 6'2". If you want to shoot at a better, higher clip, in my opinion, be 6'4". Anyways, 6'4", 175, 6'4" wingspan, 85 speed, 82 agility, 60 strength, 55 vertical. We have to have a 55 vertical. We have to have an 82 agility to get all of our shooting badges on Legend. And then my speed. So I made a build recently that was 90 speed. And I did that so that I could dex a little better. And it felt no different than when I had a build with 86 speed off the ball. So 85 and 86 can't feel much different. So that's why I did that there. The 60 strength, if you guys are new to the channel, I'm always someone that tries to get strong handle at least a little bit. I fell in love with this badge months ago. I usually have it at the Hall of Fame level. That way, you know, I can't dribble very well. So getting the lock off of me, just being glitchy and running forward and this badge activating is definitely something that I look for. I still wanted to get speed with ball high enough that was appropriate for comp pro-am leagues. So 60 strength was, you know, the most strength that I could afford to get. Let's get into the shooting part of it. I'm going to have a 94-3 right here. And yes, we are going to put 5 cap breakers on it for a 99-3. You're going to get Deadeye, Limitless, Set Shot Specialist, and Shifty Shooter all on Legend. In comp pro-am, you know, 99-3 is like the most necessary 99 stat as a point guard in NBA 2K25. Do you need this if you're just going to make this build for fun? Absolutely not. But in comp pro-am, especially for me, someone that isn't amazing, you know, I need all the help that I can get against these locks, because it can be a nightmare coming against these locks. 6'6" locks, 6'4" locks, 6'7" locks. I've seen it all this year, and it's a grind, to say the least. Anyways, enough of the complaining. You need a 99-3. Now, I did a 93 middy, and I'm going to use 2 more cap breakers to get this middy to a 95. I shoot a ton of mid-range shots. As the season progresses, I'm just going to keep upgrading the middy until I can get to a 98. I really wish I got a 99 middy eventually, but you know, by the time I get a 98 middy, it's going to be, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be 2K26. So, unfortunately, we're not going to have that 99 middy that I really, really want, but that's fine. Not the end of the world. 95 middy should be fine. 90 middy does feel a lot different than 85 middy, which is the last 2 middies that I've been dealing with on my last 2 pro-am builds. So I assume that 95 middy is going to feel better than a 90 middy, just based off of logic there. At least that's what you would hope, right? So really good shooting. 99 free throw. Yes, you still miss free throws. I don't know why. Yeah, it doesn't really make sense, but as a point guard, I'm trying to get my take as quickly as I possibly can. So when they get like a defensive 3 seconds, transition foul, you know, that puts me on the line and gets me closer to my take. When I get my take, I get more middy, I get more speed. So I'm always walking around with 2 bars of take, which is nice. So that free throw definitely helps in that situation for sure. Let's get the finishing out of the way, because there's not a lot to talk about with the finishing, to be honest with you. I'm gonna have a 65 dunk and a 59 standing dunk. Do you get anything with the 59 standing dunk? No, but you know, with the points that are given to me at the 6'4" height, the value of it is very cheap. So when I was making this build, you know, it was like, do I want to up my pass one and get no badges, or just up this all the way? Why not just up this all the way? 65 driving dunk. I don't get posterizer, which sucks, but I'm also not dunking a lot with this build. That's what I've learned a lot. That's why I don't play with that 89 dunk anymore when we're in the PNR offense, because I don't dunk. I can't get dunks. The middy's going to be open for me. So I decided to just go all in on shooting with this build, and I think it makes a lot of sense for me in the comp level scene, at least. Playmaking. We're gonna have an 89 pass here. Dimer is very interesting. I do wish that I could get bailout on silver. That's definitely something I'm gonna miss because I definitely use that badge a lot. But from what I'm hearing, bronze is no different than silver, so I'm gonna take these people's word for it and just kind of run with it. Dimer, I'm not really too sure how big of an increase from gold to legend is. Obviously, it's a good amount, probably, but you know, I play on a team where we have a lot of good shooters, and I have a lot of faith in them that they're going to hit the shot. And it has nothing to do with my dimer, in my opinion. Whether I mean, obviously, if I had bronze, it'd be tough, but I think I got shooters around me. They're going to be able to shoot at a high clip. They don't need legend dimer to be successful. I still will badge +1 dimer to Hall of Fame still, because as a point guard in the tier 2 level, there's nothing else to put it on. So Hall of Fame dimer is still very good. Oh, and I'm also in love with Tyrese Halliburton pass style. It just makes me be able to throw crazy passes. I'm not someone that just stands still and throws it. I might come off of a screen and immediately skip it to the corner, and that's hard to read as a defender. If you sag off just a little bit, you know, the ball's going to get there pretty easily. So that's why I love Tyrese Halliburton, and it helps that I'm a Pacers fan. So awesome. We're going to do ball handle to a 90. We're going to put 5 more cap breakers, which would put our total to 12 total cap breakers at this point. 95 ball handle. So everything you see here, except for strong hand, well, this is going to, ankle assassin is going to be on Hall of Fame. Handles for days is going to be on Hall of Fame. Unpluckable will be on gold. Strong handle will be on bronze. Unpluckable, Hall of Fame, and gold is no difference at all. If I get ripped, it's not, you know, unpluckable is not going to do anything to keep me from getting ripped. The locks and pro-am know when to time their reaches and their pluck animations. So, you know, the Hall of Fame level only does so much for me. I will look to either badge +1 handles for days to get that to legend, or I'm gonna put my speed with ball to an 89. 2 more cap breakers, 91. So we will get, obviously we'll get lightning launch on Hall of Fame. So for that, you know, I might put that on legend. I'm gonna mess around with it. Both badges are pretty important for me, especially handles for days, I think. So I'll mess around with putting either lightning launch to legend or handles for days to legend. I feel like it's probably gonna be handles for days if I had to guess. So, but yeah, 89 pass, 95 handle, speed with ball is gonna be a 91. So we've used all of our cap breakers, and like I said, I'm gonna just put more cap breakers. At the end of this season, I'll have a 96 middy. So the shooting on this build is unbelievable. I mean, this is the best shooting build that you can come up with in the guidelines that I need. For defense, you're gonna have a 74 perimeter. You could go less perimeter. I like having that off ball pest on silver. I like having that pick dodger on bronze. That way that they can't just kind of bully me on defense. Like I can get through screens at least. I can wall up my defender better with on ball menace. I like to think that in transition, if I get stuck on the perimeter, I can hold my ground for a little bit until we can switch back, because as you know, point guard and pro-am, you're standing in the corner. So there are times where I get stuck on the wing and I got to be able to kind of guard my yard, at least for a little bit. You know, these badges here, golly, these badges right here, bronze on ball, bronze pick dodger, definitely helped me. And then challenger, just being able to get a better contest. I think I'll get better contests with this build just because I'm tall. 6'4" is obviously bigger than 6'2". So I think that will go a long way for me for sure. I'm gonna have a 73 steal. I absolutely hate 60 steal, so having that interceptor on silver I think will be a lot better for me. I am someone that doesn't really try to go for interceptor steals as much as I probably should. I really just try my best to keep my man in front of me in the corner and make sure he doesn't backdoor me. So that's all I have to say about that. And then with the leftover points we have a 42 interior. Like I've said before, your block dictates the kind of block animations you get, dictates the kind of jump outs you get on contest. So it's very much so needed, especially for a point guard. Really for any build, I think in 2K, you should have some sort of block. Even if you don't get any badges from it, you'll get better contests if you jump. Tyrese Halliburton, you know, player comparison, that's really the only thing I care about. But yeah, this is going to be my new Pro-Am build at some point. Playmaking sharpshooter. I think this is the best shooting build that you can probably get, while still maintaining good enough defense to be solid, and still having, you know, pretty solid ball handle and speed with ball as well, along with that really high pass. But let me know what you think about this build in the comments below. I'm very curious to get your guys' input. Subscribe if you're new. Leave a like if you enjoy this content. We're on the road to 3,000 subs, so appreciate the love and support as always. And I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. Peace.